Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. God, I wonder if people are getting notified today that we are live.
I don't know.
I wonder.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out, I guess. It's kind of weird.
We will find out. You guys, quick reminder, because it's going to be our last reminder of the week since we are on vacation after today's show until Monday. Just a quick reminder for just 2 days, just Thursday and Friday. You guys are going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
2 days. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's it. That right now it's 50% off any and all Nutrisystem plans. Let me just give you an example. So, right, they've got a basic plan. They've got like a medium version plan called Uniquely Yours. They've got the Uniquely Yours Max plan, which has like more choices in terms of the meals that you get. They've got a partner plan, which is really cool, where you like, you sign up with a spouse maybe, or like your best friend, and you do things together. And then they even have a plan for people who have like a significant amount of weight to lose. And it doesn't matter which of those plans you choose. They are all 50% off when you go to Nutrisystem.com/chicks right now. Nutrisystem.com/chicks, 50% off any of the plans, you guys, any of them.
It's fantastic. Try the skillet meals. I like the skillet meals. I mean, I like those because they're easy and it makes it look like you can cook, for somebody like me who can't do it. That's something that I've always loved. Seriously, I just wanted to throw that in because those are really, really yummy. And they're really fantastic for people like me who don't know how to use a kitchen. So those are great.
You feel like cookie.
You feel very cookie and fancy and Martha Stewart-y. And you're like, look at me in the kitchen. Oh my God, I'm doing the things. And then also check out our deep dive this week, because I think it's going to drop today. We did it yesterday. We talked all about dating in the present day. And we used a story. Teen dating, not so much about old people like us, but teen dating and sort of the ups and downs and all the little things that go into dating with kids these days, and how it differs so much from when we were kids. And I think you guys will enjoy that one because we had a lot of fun talking about it yesterday. Mm-hmm. So definitely check that out when it drops today. Yeah, definitely check it out.
For sure. Also, you guys, we're just like 8 weeks out, not even, from our meet and greet happening in just outside of Tampa in September. It is a sold out event, but we wanted to just give some massive props very quickly to what is now our title sponsor, Genucel, which you've heard us talking about before. Genucel.com/chicks. You can get amazing skincare products at huge discounts when you go to Genucel.com/chicks. They are our title sponsor. And get this, they're going to be samples for everyone that's coming. Everyone that's coming gets some samples. Oh, and remind me next week. Remind me when we're back. I got the best testimonial ever from our friend Morgan, who like put off trying Genucel forever. And then she finally did it. And she's like blown away. So now
she's in love.
Share that. Oh yeah. I'm going to share that email with everybody next week.
I love it.
But right now, we got some news to get to, you guys. Some news. There were a couple of breaking stories yesterday that are both covered in the clip that I'm about to show you from Fox. The first is that, and you probably have already heard these two breaking stories, but the way that they're talked about together, I thought was extra interesting. The first is that Trump is now officially being investigated criminally by Biden's Department of Justice. That doesn't look like shady at all, right? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, the Department of Justice and the FBI have been absolutely hiding and squelching any stories or information about Hunter Biden.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. Weird. I know. They're so corrupt. And I would imagine if you asked the average American, like, how do you feel about those institutions? They would be like, oh, they're corrupt AF, right? I mean, this is the thing. Nobody has a lot of faith in those institutions, which is so sad. It's so very sad.
Well, that and the CDC and the NIH, like every institution that we have long held up as being credible and trustworthy, their reputations are in the toilet right now because of all of the politicization that they have done over the past.
Because of Democrats. Because of Democrats. It's like Democrats have infiltrated all of these institutions and screwed them up and made them so we can't trust them. It's not okay. I mean,
it's not okay.
Right.
It's not okay. So here is, I think her name is Brooke something or other from Fox talking about both of these stories.
Credible whistleblowers have come forward to Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, alleging a widespread effort within the FBI to downplay and discredit negative information about Hunter Biden. And that's according to a scathing letter Grassley wrote to FBI Director Christopher Wray and Attorney General Merrick Garland. He writes, quote, "The allegations provided to his office appear to indicate that there was a scheme in place among certain FBI officials to undermine derogatory information connected to Hunter Biden by falsely suggesting it was disinformation." Grassley zeroes in on one particular player, FBI agent Timothy Tybalt, who he claims may have improperly swayed the criminal investigation into the president's son. Grassley writes that the information he has received, quote, reveals that Tybalt's political partisanship impacted his official decision-making on sensitive public corruption investigations. One of those investigations reportedly being a newly opened probe into the Trump administration, which Grassley believes is driven by partisan politics.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then it's like, meanwhile, he got Hunter just like, it's like every 5 seconds, he's coming out with a new video of smoking crack and being with the prostitute. It's like, you can't, it's like, they're in the background. Merrick Garland is like, can you just tone that down? Can you just not, for like 5 seconds, can you not videotape yourself doing something illegal? Come on, dude. Because he constantly
I don't know why it trickles out. Like, I mean, they've had the hard drive forever. Just do it like a WikiLeaks dump, right? Like, just put it all online at once. People can like see it. I don't know why they just keep like dripping it
giving
out.
Us bites. Yeah.
Just let it all out, man. What is? I don't understand why they're doing it this way. It makes no sense.
He probably still does it. You know, he's probably right now filming himself smoking crack with a prostitute. You know, this is what he does.
In like one of those tanks, in a sensory deprivation tank.
Or in a sauna somewhere in his house. He's just like, he films himself constantly 24/7. This guy is a sociopath. I swear.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we don't want to see that, Hunter. We don't want to see you going to the bathroom. We don't want to see it.
Thank you,
Lord.
but no.
Right.
Jesse Waters and Katie Pavlich were also talking about just the potential fallout from this entire criminal investigation or criminal probe into the Trump administration. I don't know how many times they can continue to probe him and then come up short in terms of being able to have anything like that tangible that they can charge him with. But man, do they ever keep trying. Here's Katie and Jesse.
If Joe Biden's attorney general indicted Donald Trump, who would be running against Joe Biden for president?
It would look really bad. It would look corrupt. I mean, the Department of Justice and the FBI have been politicized and used as a political weapon against Republicans for years on end now. It would certainly not look good to the American people. And when you look at polling for the FBI and law enforcement institutions on the federal level, the American people have some pretty big questions about the way that their power has been abused, specifically when it comes to how they treated Donald Trump.
All right.
Yeah, it's been totally weaponized. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it. Absolutely. We've seen it for years and nobody trusts them. Isn't that a terrible thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and then it's like the DOJ, now they've come after moms who question, just conservative moms who want to question, how schools are educating their children. Oh my God. How dare we even question, whether or not we agree with, CRT and things like that in our schools. You can't do that because then you're put on some sort of a list.
You're a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. And when that starts happening, you're like, what is going on in this country? What is happening? And then they won't dare go after some crack smoking whack job who films himself with maybe underage prostitutes. That's totally fine. But me as a mom, who wants to talk about CRT and stuff like that, I'm a domestic terrorist. This is America.
Well, I'm glad that you know your place.
Right. I'm just sorry. I'll be over here. Okay.
Oh my God. Now, I asked you before we went live if you had seen this video, and I'm so glad that you haven't because I'm looking forward to seeing you see it for the first time. But Joe Biden spoke yesterday, and he was bashing Trump because this is all his COVID will allow him to do apparently right now. And I mean, put aside that he's got the COVID voice, like he still sounds really sick. You guys, what is going on with his eyeballs? Okay, I feel like they have lobotomized him or drugged him up in some kind of way, because he does not look normal. And I mean, that's relative, I get it, but like he looks extra abnormal in this video. Are you ready for this, Jelly?
Yes, I'm ready. I've been ready. I'm so ready.
Okay, here
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
What is going on?
It's like his pupils are so dilated.
It's not just me, right?
You have to play it again. You have to play at least part of it again. Everybody look at his eyes. Everybody just, okay, but don't look too hard because something may happen to you. Don't look too hard. Only look with one eye. Everybody only just cover one eye and look with one eye and then look deep into his eyes with one eye.
And he doesn't blink, and it's just so completely freaky. Okay, here, watch it again.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
I don't.
The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
Happening?
What the hell? I don't trust humans that don't blink. I just don't. If you don't blink, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong.
Like, listen, is that a droid? What? I'm serious, you guys. Like, it's not just me. It's not just me. And I felt like on the line, like on Twitter, which is normally where you see people freaking out about these things, I didn't feel like anybody was appropriately freaking out. And so then I started to feel crazy. Like, is it like,
and then you're like, I'm taking this to the group tomorrow because nobody's appropriately freaking out here. They will. I did. Oh my God. And so you're like, I'm going to take this to the group tomorrow. Nobody's appropriately freaking out here. They will appropriately freak out in the group tomorrow. We are appropriately freaking out, you guys. This is crazy. Look at his eyes.
Okay.
Oh no.
He looks not normal.
No, it's not normal at all. There's some sort of substance that's happening here, and or like something's going on with his brain.
That's what I'm saying, that he's been lobotomized, that they've done some like electrode therapy, or they've given him some kind of crazy eye drops or something. Something is really not right with this at all.
That is nuts. Somebody said it looks like one of the attractions from Disney, one of those robots from Disney. I mean, it could be. It could be, you guys.
It's not normal. It is not normal.
Wow.
Speaking of not normal, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is getting a rash of crap online right now for her introduction to herself at a council or a forum or a panel or a discussion that she was having with some disability advocate group. Okay. So people are freaking out because this is the new thing. We've seen this on TV shows from time to time and like super leftist outlets who, whenever they conduct a meeting, they introduce themselves with their pronouns and then describe their own physical appearance. And so ostensibly that is to help anyone who may be blind in the audience get a visual picture of who is speaking. Like, that's supposedly why they do this. Now, why they do the pronoun thing,
this is the thing. I think it's like, this is real life now. Like, we have to go through this introduction where it's like, I'm a she, her, I'm wearing a blue suit. I'm like, it's just, I mean, we've come to the point where like, we have to accept this as normal. And it's so ridiculous. Like, it just sounds ridiculous, you know?
It is ridiculous.
There have to be blind people out there that are like, this is ridiculous. This is
and there have to be blind people who have been blind from birth who have no idea when she says she's in a blue dress what blue means. Like, why would they know blue? You know what I mean?
And if she's gonna say I'm in a blue dress, I'd rather her just say, okay, like I want your weight, I want your height, I want your eye color, your skin color, your hair color, and then you know what I mean. Just describe, because blue dress means if I were blind, I'm gonna picture myself like I can't, like you telling me that you're in a blue dress doesn't really give me a visual indication of what you look like. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give me everything or give me nothing. That's the way I look at it.
The whole dress thing is just so pointless.
Dumb. I think it's dumb.
Christine, I know Christine is like, do like Rocky and Mask and use the rocks, throw them at her head. Do you remember that scene from The Mask? From Mask with
Cher, yeah.
And Laura Dern?
Vaguely.
Well, and that's my point, right? Is that Laura Dern, who is blind from birth, Rocky was trying to tell her what the colors were, right? And he was like, "Oh, that's red or that's blue." And she's like, "Rocky, I don't know what that means. I've been blind my whole life. So how would I know what blue looks like? I have no idea." So then he used ice in her hand to try to like make her visualize the color of blue. He put like something hot in her hand to make her visualize red. It was this whole scene, right? But I thought about that when she's describing her dress. I'll play the clip really quick so people can see her doing this.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome these leaders for coming in to have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit. And
so that's how they do things now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's also interesting. It's also interesting to me how all of a sudden she knows that she's a woman. And that like since when? Like since when do you know that
she knows she's a woman. She just can't define woman. She knows she is one. Really? She just can't give you a definition.
This is the thing. And then the she, her, and the pronouns. And it's like, God, these people are exhausting. Every day it's just something, you know? So I'm honestly surprised that she said woman too.
I mean, it's just, she can say it, but like the second you ask her, tell me what that means. And what? Just watch the freak out.
What were the most pressing issues of our time? Do we know what those were? Do we know?
No.
Okay. I was
probably like Trans Awareness Day or something.
To me, we've got like an open border and people are.
Uh-oh, you froze again.
Can you hear?
Okay, now I can.
Okay. Okay, sorry. It's if it was trans awareness, I feel like, you know, we have people that are dying. People are dying at the border. We have, you know, fentanyl that's coming over our border. It's the biggest killer of 18 to 44-year-olds right now. That's kind of pressing. She's not handling that, and she was tasked to do that. That's kind of pressing.
That is very pressing. That and inflation and like the prices of everything. Right. Those are like very, very pressing issues, for crying out loud. Quick reminder, you guys. Right. Acre Gold. If you have not, or if you have thought about maybe like expanding your financial portfolio to include actual physical gold, this is a great way to do it. And that is through Acre Gold, which allows you to do it as kind of a layaway plan. Like instead of forking over, you know, a big pile of money to buy yourself a bar of gold for whatever market value of gold is today, you don't have to do that. You can pay as you go. You can pay $50 a month. You could pay $100 a month, even $250 a month if you want to. And then as you earn or as you meet the price threshold of the gold, it just gets shipped right to your door. And then you can save it in your very own safe or your very own deposit box at the bank, if people still do that, or wherever. But the point is, you can have and hold it. And it's just a nice hedge against the market. So it's one thing to have your money invested, you know, and diversified across several different funds, but it's a whole other thing to actually include some physical precious metals in your portfolio too. It's just one more way to diversify. And it's something that we thought was really cool in terms of the subscription service, because I don't know any other gold companies that do that. So check out all the details. It's getacregold.com/chicks.
And make sure you guys
today.
Yep, definitely. And make sure that you guys are checking out our website too, chicksonright.com. Bookmark it, go there every day. We have great content, fantastic writers, chicksonright.com.
Okay, you guys, Chris Cuomo. So the other day we played a little teaser video from his new podcast. Well, it turns out there's bigger projects in the works for Chris Cuomo. He appeared with Dan Abrams on News Nation last night, and Dan Abrams was talking about all of his new ventures, but also asking him some pointed questions about the whole scandal with CNN, with his brother, with all of that. And so Chris Cuomo is just a ridiculous person. I think we can all agree on how ridiculous of a person he is. But the way that he tries to pretend as though he's having any introspection, some self-reflection about what he's gone through, it's so insincere. But because our society is one that rewards terrible behavior, News Nation is offering him, or has offered him, a primetime show on their network. So pretty soon, I'm not sure when it starts, but pretty soon we're going to see Chris Cuomo having his own primetime show again. And the clip that I have is of Dan asking him about the whole scandal at CNN. Here is what Chris said about that.
What did you tell CNN about your involvement in those conversations? Did you say to them right at the outset, hey guys, I just want you to know I'm going to be talking to my brother a lot through this process?
It was known. Now, as you said, there's litigation. I want to respect it. But the reason I'm shy on this subject is not just pro forma because there's litigation. I really believe that I have to focus on things that I think are helpful to people. And I learned something during this period. I have been obsessed with what happened, when, what was known, and there are a lot of facts that I believe are going to come out. I've also learned that they are largely only important to me, Dan, in terms of what I want people to think and how I want people to feel and how I want them to see me. That's about me. I don't think that it's helpful to a lot of other people. So, yes, there's litigation going on, but I'm telling you, I never lied and there were no secrets.
I just find him so repulsive. I can't. You know what I mean?
You're not turned on by his guns?
At any moment, I expect him to rip his jacket and his shirt off and start flexing at any moment and start oiling himself up. That's just what I just expect him to start doing that at any moment. He's that guy. You know what I mean?
He is that guy. Oh
he's the guy that like does his workout every day and videotapes it for people. He's that guy.
Oh, for
on
sure.
Instagram. He's that guy. And he's like, you guys check out my protein powder. This is what I use every day. I can't take him seriously. But that.
Why are they giving him a show?
What is that? Well, what is News Nation? Should I know what that is? What is that? Am I supposed to know what that is? I'm sorry, I don't really watch that.
It is an up and coming platform, kind of similar to Newsmax, I guess. Okay. It's kind of like that. Okay. And so,
what do they? Which way do they have to lean one way or the other? Because everybody does. Which way do they lean?
It's hard to say. Because, for example, our old radio buddies Hammer and Nigel appear there quite frequently.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe they are trying to be the super balanced network. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I have not really watched a lot of them. Congratulations on being up and coming. That's great. I love it. I like seeing more of that. And that's cool. If they're balanced, that's great. It's just that I feel like nowadays everybody has a slant, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. I just have not seen a lot of that. But I mean, it seems like the kind of person who would demand a lot of money. That's why I'm like, wow, that seems like a big paycheck to give, or somebody who would demand a big paycheck from somebody who, from a network that I've not watched a lot of. So that's
maybe he's not worried about money because he's fully expecting to get every last cent of the $125 million he is suing CNN for.
Okay.
And so he doesn't care as much.
He just wants the attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, moving on away from Chris Cuomo, because honestly, he doesn't deserve any more of our attention. We should mention really quickly that there has been an official Meghan McCain replacement announced for The View, and it is that Alyssa Farah Griffin chick.
God, that took forever.
I know.
Did it
her
not?
name takes forever to say. Alyssa Farah Griffin.
Farah Griffin.
Yeah.
Is that 2 words? Is that like, like Amy Jo Clark, or is that?
I think it's like Amy Jo Clark.
Okay, so Farah is like her middle name. Griffin's her last name. It's not like Farah Griffin. Okay.
No, I think it's like her middle name. I think. I don't know. I don't know her, so I could be totally wrong.
Well, I give her 6 months.
Well, I don't know how conservative she is either. Like, I question anybody that is considered conservative by The View. You know what I mean? Like, they have a
Anna
very low
Navarro.
standard.
Yeah, is Anna Navarro.
Right.
She's
exactly.
She's not a conservative. Yeah, right. This is the thing. They don't want a conservative on the show. They want somebody who's going to shake their head and then every once in a while say something that sounds Republican but is not. They don't want a conservative on that show. They do not want another point of view. They do not want dissent on that horrible show.
Horrible show.
Yeah, and why would you want to work on it with that just swarm of hornets? Why? It just seems horrible. This seems so horrible. He's upset.
Oh my gosh, he's talking.
I know he's upset because I mentioned The View, and so he immediately was like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're talking about Joy Behar," and then he started whining. He's upset. We've upset Cash. Right. Sorry, you guys.
He's mad. He's like, I'm just going to stand here until you change the subject. Okay, Cash, we're changing the subject right now. You can calm down because we're about to show a Tucker clip that was like the greatest Tucker clip ever from last night. If you guys missed it, he was making fun of Mayor Pete in the most glorious, delicious way. So I've got that. I think it's a little bit longer than normal, but not terribly long because this is just the best part. You ready? Here we go.
Yes. Thank goodness.
So it was just 3 or 4 years ago, you could kind of get on a plane and fly wherever you wanted in the country fairly cheaply with the expectation the plane would take off and land pretty much on time. That was the case for, 50 years in the United States. Have you flown recently? If you have, that's changed a lot. So we thought it'd be worth checking in at the Department of Transportation, which oversees all of this. Mayor Pete, who runs it, is back from breastfeeding, and he's out with a major announcement. And that announcement is striking fear into world leaders globally. Here's what Mayor Pete said.
You've probably been hearing a good deal about how the Department of Transportation is using President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law to modernize our transportation systems. Today, we are thrilled to announce the launch of Momentum, our department's new initiative to help countries around the world learn from our best practices and expertise in planning and modernizing transportation infrastructure.
How out of touch are these people? How completely detached from reality are they? Well, Mayor Pete is telling us that he's been so successful, he's going to, quote, help countries around the world learn from our best practices and expertise in transportation infrastructure. Now, that sounds like a promise, but actually, it's a threat. Anyone who's ever been in a subway system in a big American city knows just how scary that threat is. In New York City, for example, the biggest subway system, rats are now sliding down poles all the time. It's on video. Ooh, there's a rat. Passengers, meanwhile, pulling slip-and slides inside subway cars to twerk. You're seeing that footage on your screen right now. This is actually happening. Just today, one of our producers on the New York City subway going to work. In the span of just 90 seconds, he saw a man urinating on the mezzanine. He also saw a woman wearing a face mask, of course, writing F the police on the wall. So this is a success that Mayor Pete wants to export to the rest of the world.
God.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. And then he went on to show, like, here's the difference between us and places like, Japan and Korea. And he showed their transit systems. And like, if you look at Japan, oh my God, you guys, you could lick the floors. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody is like sitting quietly and being respectful of one another. And it's super clean. And it's like, yeah, and then he's saying that we should just be like displaying our best practices and trying to push those onto other countries. Okay, like give me a break.
Oh my God.
You may want to take all the seats, Mayor Pete. Yeah.
And did you hear the part at the very beginning where he like said, Mayor Pete recently returning from breastfeeding released this video? I died.
I swear, I know, it's the greatest. I mean, these people are so completely out of touch on so many different things. They live in their little Washington bubble. They think they're great. They think they're making a difference. Meanwhile, you know, from a transportation perspective, have you looked around, you idiot? God. I mean, look at how expensive gas is. Look at he thinks that we're all going to go out and buy a Tesla. No. I mean, this guy is a joke. He's a complete joke. He couldn't even run South Bend. I mean, he's a joke. It's just funny. Yep. And they think he's going to run
segment.
And they think he's going to run for president, you know?
And they like it. Like Democrats now have him in the lead above Biden and well above Kamala. Right. He is their golden boy. Him and Gavin Newsom.
Because he ticks a box. He's another one of those box tickers. He'd be the first gay man, right? He would be. And they love that. Democrats love that. They're like, oh my God, he'd be the first. It would be great. Yay.
Why does this matter to them so much?
Because it does. It just, I don't know, because Democrats, they are all about that. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. What is in your sack of whack?
All right, Sack of Whack today is about University of Michigan Medical School. I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. It was an induction, the white coat ceremony that they do. You know how people do that. I say people, the medical schools do that, where they do the induction ceremony, and they did this Sunday. A bunch of medical students walked out. I don't know if you guys saw this video. I could have sent it to Mock to play, but you can get the gist of it. They walked out in protest of the event's keynote speaker, Dr. Kristen Collier. She's a Michigan faculty member and primary care physician, and she has publicly voiced her opposition to abortion rights. Okay, so they walked out. There was just like a gajillion of these are going to be doctors. They got up and they walked out,
and she didn't even talk about abortion in her commencement address. She didn't even talk about it.
No, she just was there and she was speaking. And you would not believe the floods of these students that got up and walked. These are going to be doctors, and they can't sit and listen to this woman talk and have it. And like you said, she didn't even talk about it, but they couldn't just sit and listen to a fellow doctor get up and talk about something else during this white coat ceremony. I was appalled by that. That's whack, because these are going to be doctors. Like, I thought to myself, I wish I could figure out who all these people are and then say to myself, I never want to go and get care from these doctors, right? Because what is wrong with these people if they can't sit and just hear from another person who happens to be, somebody who believes in the sanctity of life, like that
as a doctor,
as a medical doctor, as a practicing medical doctor, that individual believes in the sanctity of human life, and they have a problem with that, and they walked out. That's whack. That is completely whack. Yeah. And so if you haven't seen it, look for it. It's everywhere. And it's appalling to me. Unbelievable. Yeah.
My God.
This is our world.
What a bunch of babies, right? And these are the people that we're going to be seeking care from in our old age.
Yeah. And our kids and our grandkids are going to be seeking care from. And that makes me terrified. Absolutely terrified. Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, it is now time for My Pillow Talks. Don't forget, huge sale on the sheets, huge sale on the Giza Dream sheets, and buy one, get one offers on pillows and towels at mypillow.com/chicks. First things first, I want to share a video from Batya Unger Sargon. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but we've played her a couple times, I think, in the past. She does great journalism, actually, and she made such an interesting and eloquent point about why conservatives got so upset during the COVID lockdowns and during a lot of the restrictions. And she talks about it in a way that I just haven't heard people talk about it before. So I wanted to share that before we get into all of the fun talks. Here we go.
Which was that the people who opposed the lockdowns, they were doing it because, yes, there was the freedom thing, yes. But that wasn't the thing that motivated the emotional response on the right to these authoritarian lockdowns. What motivated the emotional response was what motivated me, which was the disgust with allowing yourself, because of your financial security, to rise so far above the people you relied on to survive. Meaning, we're going to enforce a lockdown because we can work from home.
Right.
So we're going to keep making our money and protect ourselves from the plague, but we're going to force you to go out into the plague and stock those shelves and bring those packages and bring us that food. And we're going to then tell you how to live your life. So we're going to there's going to be nothing out there for you to do except labor for us, right? Except deliver our packages, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing's going to be open for you. You're going to have to brave the plague and go out into the danger so we can protect ourselves. And then they misunderstood what was essentially their economic privilege, right, of being able to work from home as virtue. They thought they were more virtuous because they were staying home, right? So they took this thing that was a class divide where they really were in such a better situation than the people who they relied on to work and keep them alive. And then they wanted to keep that. They made that distinction even bigger and bigger and bigger and kept pushing for policy to make that distinction even greater and greater and greater. And what I saw on the right was a Marxist disgust with the bourgeoisie, with these educated elites, for creating a situation that benefited them. Suddenly their houses were worth so much more, right? But then the kicker was, as soon as they had a vaccine, they were like, oh, now you have to take it or you get fired, right? Like, it was so disgusting. And I think that disgust is I would call that Marxist in nature. It is a disgust with a class divide that one side is sitting there benefiting from and then stewing in its own sort of moral, virtue, while oppressing other people. Like, that's a Marxist analysis of COVID. And I bet you would agree.
Isn't that interesting?
A to the men. Like, she nailed it. She just nailed it. And I think it's important to point out, like you were saying, that she didn't start out as a super uber conservative. I mean, this chick is not.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that I don't think she's someone that has ever been on the super right. In fact, I've heard her espouse, some more liberal ideologies. So, but about the COVID restrictions, she's obviously she's got a stance, right?
Yeah.
And it's right on.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I love her take on that. Man, that was just a beautiful take. And it was
right. And that's why I wanted to share it, because I thought people would, I thought people would be as struck by it as I was, because I was like, wow, I've never heard it put in quite those terms when you talk about the elitists and them being elitist economically, but then also feeling so proud of themselves about it. While they're taking other people's jobs away and forcing them to do things to their bodies that they don't want to do. I thought it really
was, and it is so Marxist, and that's why so many of us have so much disdain for those. I mean, it's like, no, you don't get to do that in America.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right, I am going to. So first, we got to show this guy and his wife.
What?
He's got the best aim.
Oh my God, he's so good at this.
I mean, so I just can't get enough of that prank. Like, he just literally tossed it and it square on her face.
He is so good at that.
That's
a talent. That is a talent. I mean, I don't know what for other than TikTok, but that's a fantastic talent.
Also,
good for him.
Why is this not my job in some way? Why don't I get to do this on a daily basis?
Okay, that's pretty cute.
Look at how sweet.
He is very, very sweet. I will give you that. I mean, he probably
loves
has
her so much.
He does seem to love her. He reminds me a little bit of Cash. I'm not gonna lie. Right, Cash?
I mean, he just, look at that. She is all over him and he's like, oh yeah, right there. Yeah.
They like the spot right here. Right there is the spot. Yeah. Oh, God bless him.
And he's liking all the kisses. I want to do that.
So sweet.
Look at his mohawk.
Fuzzy. Oh my God. So fuzzy. So fuzzy.
Anyway, that's like, she gets to do that. And I'm very, very jealous.
Every day.
Last one is kind of educational because it goes back to the whole telescope thing. Remember when I was like, I can't get my head around the telescope and the findings of the telescope?
Yeah.
So there's another girl who is absolutely losing her mind, and she cannot get her mind around this whole thing either. But so this is like kind of spliced in together with someone who is trying to actually explain to her what's happening. She's me, okay? Because I am like her, where I am just like, make this make sense. He's trying to make it make sense. So it's a little bit educational, but I thought everybody would like this.
I'm starting to think that time isn't linear and I just have to like flesh it out.
Excellent. Let us do that. I love talking about this telescope, and also time is not linear, which is, I agree, pretty upsetting.
Because here's the thing. How did they know what direction to point it in to get the beginning of the universe?
So this isn't super easy to visualize, but the beginning of the universe is in every direction.
They can point it in any direction because if we're going back in time, all roads are going to go back to the beginning of the universe eventually.
Yes, exactly. You got it.
I'm going to vomit.
That happens sometimes.
If I can picture this area of space, and I know you're going to say that like the way that we perceive direction isn't true in space, but like we know that Mars is in one direction and Jupiter is in another direction. So clearly there's some type of direction in space.
Yes, direction is at least one thing that does exist, and Mars is absolutely in one direction.
Say I'm in this area and I zoom all the way in this telescope. I'm going to get to the start of the universe eventually.
Right, because, and this is, I agree, quite weird. Light has a speed, and it takes time for the light from distant objects to arrive at us. And eventually, if we see stuff that's really, really far away, we're basically seeing like the leftover radiation from the Big Bang.
Because the universe started from a particle and a Big Bang.
Yeah, close enough.
But if I'm in this area and I go this way, I'm also going to get to the start of the universe.
Yes, because things in that direction and things in that direction are both very far away. Hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're doing great. This is normal. You're doing great.
The universe is constantly expanding. So we all started from a single point. But now we're a bunch of points.
So many points.
If I were to get in a plane that could withstand space and just start driving towards where that telescope took that picture.
Where are we going with this one?
Would I?
Yes. Well, so you know in Interstellar?
I haven't seen Interstellar.
Okay, I don't actually really get it either. The point is that you would age because we cannot accelerate any amount of mass to the speed of light without using infinite energy. So that's not going to happen. But that's not relevant here. I think where you're getting tripped up is that those galaxies we're seeing aren't currently in the past. We are seeing them as they were in the past because it has taken 13 plus billion light years for the light from those galaxies to get to us. But for those galaxies, time has been passing for all of that time. If we were able to just instantaneously pop up where they are right now, we wouldn't see them as they were. We would see them as they are right now after 13 billion years of aging and colliding with other galaxies and stuff like that. They are not in the past right now. It is only their old ancient light that we are seeing right now.
There's no direction that we would look in that would take us to the future, because every direction takes us to the past.
Right, but it's only the looking. We are seeing snapshots of the universe as it was. That past is not there anymore, but this bizarre quality of light, that it has a speed, means that we can see it.
I gotta stop. Okay, I actually have to talk.
I mean, I don't know how you grasp all that. I don't. I am her. I am just like...
That's a lot, especially in the morning. Like, I was like, oh my God, I just don't know. I need like about 4 more cups of coffee before I can get all that. I can't.
I mean, it's amazing,
yeah,
right? Like that there are astronomers that get it, that are like, oh yeah, that's 13 billion years ago. What? It's fine. I don't know why this is hard for you to process.
Did you know that? I think that Webb telescope, not the Hubble, but the Webb that we were talking about a couple weeks, like a week, 2 ago, whatever. I can't remember. I think it was $10 billion that telescope cost.
Wow.
It cost us as taxpayers, just so everybody knows. I think it was $10 billion. I'm
okay with that. I'm okay with that spend.
Right. No, I mean, if we get to see if there's like, other life out there, then I get it. But I'm just putting that out there. Like, it costs a crap load of money for that stuff. And we pay for it. Like, we taxpayers pay for that. 10 billion, like with a B. I'm pretty sure it's like with a B.
But like, I'm also kind of amazed that just regular people created it. Like they were able to figure out how to create that level of that's amazing, right? I mean, that's amazing.
I mean, but I gotta tell you, there's not many of those people left anymore because
that's the thing.
Because when you scroll through TikTok, you got women with their asses straight up in the air twerking. That's what you got. That's what you get. Because we have our TikTok, and then I have a very new ranch TikTok from my ranch page. I put up a TikTok of our ranch page. We were helping a fellow ranch, down the road. And it was a video of us draining an abscess of a heifer who had, and it was, what all intents and purposes, it was basically a veterinary procedure of a heifer who needed to have an abscess drained. They took that down. They took it down because they said it was abusive and graphic content. It's educational. It's educational. They took it down. And I'm like, okay, so that's taken down off TikTok, but yet you have chicks with their butts straight up in the air twerking, and that's okay. This is TikTok, man. This is because they want to dumb us. China wants to dumb us down. This is what they want to do. So like that kind of stuff, what we just saw, people don't want to watch that stuff. They don't want to watch it. Hardly any of that stuff is out there. It really is.
Well, I see people in the comments that were like, that's boring. That was so boring. This is the
people
problem.
Don't want to watch it.
That is like, don't watch it. But that's the kind of stuff that shows up in my feed. I don't get the twerking. I get that. And I'm just like, fascinated by it. You know what I mean?
And the dogs, you get the dogs and stuff, and people throwing cheese at their wives. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. But people want to watch the people throwing cheese at their wives, and they want to watch people like looking at cute dogs and stuff like that, which is great. But like in China, they have I don't know if you guys they show this on Tucker the other night. They have educational content.
I showed it here.
Right. Exactly. They have educational content, and this is what they do because it's different in America than it is over there. And this is why we are becoming dumber and dumber. And this is why you're going to see less and less of it. And this is why we'll have less and less people doing that kind of content everywhere in our country, because people don't have a tolerance for smart people.
God, I cannot believe your cow thing was taken down.
It was taken down. Yeah, it was taken down. And I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me with this. Like, I can't believe it. All it was just a drain. It was just draining of an abscess. It's basically like popping a disgusting giant zit is what it was. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't handle it. They could not handle it. Well, and I'm like, this is ranch life. This is what people do.
And the day before yesterday, just another example of how inconsistent their standards are applied. I saw on Twitter, someone posted this video from some guy's TikTok who's a cross-dresser who is so disgusting, right? Like he calls himself a cross-dresser transvestite. And basically his whole feed, his name is Johanna Clayton. So if you guys go to TikTok and look him up, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just him wearing women's clothes, and he's this old, disgusting, creepy dude. Well, one of the videos includes him in a dress, literally fondling himself while he's walking around. It's super Silence of the Lambsy, like really super Silence of the Lambsy, just super gross. So, and it's there. It's on TikTok. It's not been taken down. It's completely fine. I pulled a clip of it and put it into my own TikTok to say, how is this allowed? How is this okay on this platform? My video got taken down for sexual content. His is still up. The actual video that I based my video on to say this is not okay, mine gets taken down. His is still up. Like, make that make sense. What the hell?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, because and I can't believe what they called mine. They said that mine was abusive. It's like it was abusive to animals, I guess, abusive. And I'm thinking, you got to be freaking kidding me. It's abusive.
Oh my God.
Abusive, offensive, graphic. And I was like, okay, all right. I mean, this is the thing. You wonder who these people are. You wonder who the powers that be are behind the scenes that are deciding what is deemed worthy of being out there as content and what is not. And then it's like, I want to know who these people are. And you know damn well who they are, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you know who it is. You know who's running the show. It's freaking, you know who it is, you guys. I'm not even going to say it. You know who it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's get real.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal.
So stupid.
And it makes me want to just,
them.
and the thing is, and it makes me want to just keep posting more of that content, just to keep pummel. I'm just going to pummel that page full of that content. Like veterinary surgical procedures. I'm just going to just start putting them out there. I'm serious. I'm going to find people and start putting this up just because now I'm irritated,
But they'll shut you down. They'll shut you down. Like my account is in a restricted warning status or whatever because this is a repeat offense for me because I've also been accused of harassment and bullying when I respond to comments saying, screw you, bitch, on my own feed. If I respond to that, then I get shut down for harassment. I mean,
it's just unreal.
No sense.
It's just unreal. I know it's unreal. It's crazy. So anywho, that was
a great vacation.
That was the sidetrack. You guys bring it in. Remember, we are gone for the next 2 days. We're going to miss you guys.
Yeah.
But you know what? We haven't really taken a check out vacation in quite some time. I haven't had a family vacation in several years. So I'm kind of looking forward to just spending a couple days with my family and just, maybe not reading the news for 2 or 3 days. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
And not seeing and then coming back and realizing that America is in fact a dumpster fire. So, but just checking out of that for a couple days. So that'll be nice. And you guys, I hope you have a fantastic long weekend, and we will definitely be back on Monday, and we will miss you guys. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you Monday. Bye, everybody.